Hey yo everybody, it's Kenny K here with another 80s ditty, a horror sci-fi creature feature movie called The Being. Now, originally on IMDb it said it came out in 1981, but then another site said it came out in 83, another site said it was done in 1980, so I'm just going for 81. Directed by Jackie Kong. He also made these B 80s, I think it's slasher horror movie Blood Diner. This movie gets a 4.4, and I'm obliged to give it a 4.5. Why? I'll tell you why. Although this movie has three Oscar winners like Martin Landau, an actor that I personally know, who plays this sleazy government scientist called Garson Jones, who's um, basically putting chemicals in the water supply of this small town called Pottsville. Then you have another Oscar winner, never heard of him, Jose Ferrer, playing Mayor Gordon. He knows about the chemical waste disposal, but he's thinking about this. He's corrupt. And then another one who plays Dorothy Malone, never heard of her. March, don't know even what she did in the movie yet. Because the movie was kind of boring, because there, our main guy is Detective Mortimer Lutz, short for Mort. Okay, this guy. So the movie starts with this boy running in the daylight away from something that's chasing him, and the moment he gets to his car, it's nighttime. So was this guy running for like 5 6 hours on end, or was it just from day to nighttime? So it was like like shot in daytime when he's running away from the monster, and then shot in nighttime. Same. Okay. The creature eventually that's in the movie makes him crash, and he dies. And there's all this green sludge behind in the car. Now, Detective Mortimer Lutz goes to the crime scene. Now it's weird because it's a sheriff's station, which is it has like 5 6 units, but you only see one guy, which I think is a sheriff, and they have a detective. Now I know that there are big sheriff stations with 10, 15 deputies, and they have a homicide detective, but this town, what appears to have only two cops, has a detective and a sheriff. Weird. Now Mort, the detective Mort of Lutz, he's going. He puts the car in the car impound, and at some point he has two lines of dialogue. What happened here? Uh, do you know where the body is? And eventually okay, what happens now is something that I've never seen in a movie. It's super lazy as fuck. So he goes to the guy, the car pound guy, that impound lot guy. He's dragged away by something unseen. He finds a flashlight of the guy. Lutz finds a flashlight of the guy, and he's like, where the, he's thinking this to himself. So he's not talking. So he's thinking. So you don't see his facial expressions. He's just in this situation. He's basically in a studio writing. It's just reading his lines from a script. He doesn't have a facial expression. Where the hell did this guy go? Probably to take a piss or something. I don't know. What's that green sludge? Now he's just what's that green sludge? Then in the car, he's not talking. Should I go to the market, get a T-bone steak? Now he's not talking, he's just thinking that, okay? We hear him thinking that. And without facial expression. Then he's in the PlayStation. He's looking at the TV station with, that guy Garrison Jones, that government sleazebag. You sleazebag. You're gonna get yours coming, man. And then the sheriff arrives and takes this illegal fisherman, you know, who didn't have a permit, and he's thinking like, why does he always take these small cases, these things that are so, you know, unimportant. And then he eventually said, then he starts to say something. He says, why did you take him in? He didn't have a permit. So for what? For this, a bunch of trout. He throws the trout on the on the desk of Lutz, and then Lutz bitch slaps him with the trout. So, but Lutz goes home again, thinking to himself, oh, should make that. Should be. Oh, that should be made. Make a little bench for me. And he's constantly thinking, that's the most lazy way of acting. That's something that I can do, everybody can do, without any facial expression, just reading lines from a script in a studio somewhere, and just walking and looking and I mean, and then meantime you hear him talking. That's lazy. Lazy, and that goes on for like 10-15 fucking minutes. Then he goes to his house, drops his gun, he wants to go, he wants to lie on his bed, takes off the sheets, and there's this big ass green sludge, a monster hand that grabs him by the knee, tries to take him under the bed, he runs away, he left his gun there. And the weird thing is, in the entire movie long, he never has his gun with him. He's a cop, but he only has a gun for one moment when there's somebody, for some reason, taking a nap in his squad car. Yeah, okay. So, you see, he's being followed and chased by this thing. And then the day he's going to the mayor, yeah, this thing followed me, and he's being like, I would be scared shitless. I would be saying, you gotta get the state troopers in there. There's a thing following me. I mean, it's probably that chemical shit that's being dumped in our waters. And then, you know, the mayor doesn't want to hear anything about that. He's threatening to fire him. And then Garrison Jones comes in, the sleazebag, government sleazebag. And then they're having this fucking parade, and you would think, okay, for what is this parade? For maybe the existence of this town, maybe colonists that made this town? No, this parade is made to clean up the smut of the town. We did it again, and we can do it again. Put the smut away. I mean, I really... You know, pornographic material. You see this government douchebag coming out with a broom. Let's get all the smut away. Pornographic material should leave this town. It's Satan's power, pornographic. It's Satan's pleasurement. And then this other woman comes to Lutz and says, you see those, you know, massage tables in that store? Yeah, so... Happy endings, Mortimer, happy endings. I mean, that doesn't mean it's gonna be a happy ending. No, it's smut. And she's also starting to broom, and this parade is just because of cleaning up the smut in their town. Jesus Christ, what the hell is this kind of town? And then eventually, what's more to say about this movie? At some point, this sheriff dude wants to, he pulls over a lady that drives too fast. He wants to be a little bit, you know, a flirtatious mood. He's saying he's driving too fast, but he likes her, but he falls on his fucking face like an idiot that he is. First he gets bitch slapped by Trout, now he falls on his face. And he says, get the hell out of here, he says. And he hears something in the woods, and it's a dog. He goes back in. So then you hear Unit 4, how you doing? Yeah, I'll go. Unit 5, and that's him. So you know there are more cops, but you only see 2 cops. And he says he wants to answer, and before he can answer, some hand pushes through. There is gore in this movie. Pushes through his chest, has his heart in his hand. It's crushes the heart and gets pushed back through his chest. So he's dead. The stupid sheriff or whatever, officer, deputy, whatever, he's dead. Now the entire time, like I said, Lutz doesn't have his gun. Lutz is just going, and eventually at some point, because of more people missing and dying, they decide to. There are three guys that are like camping out in front of a garage for 3 days for some reason. I'm not sure what. They get killed. Apparently, the creature was inside there. They must have known. I'm not sure why they're camping outside then with guns. Then they all get killed. Then Lutz goes back to his apartment like everything is okay. He just goes back in, puts his coat in, goes back in his snuggy bed sheets and fucking goes to sleep. I would be terrified like shit. I would get the National Guard to get in my fucking house and see what's under my bed like a little child. See what's under my bed, please. Come on. I would never trust to get in the house again. I would be terrified, even if I had a gun. So at some point, Garrison Jones can't, he can't put it under the blanket anymore. There is a creature running amok. This creature looks like this. A few pictures, and so what then happens is, he goes to look for it at a chemical plant, and he thinks it's there. They find it, but Garrison Jones gets killed. He gets mauled by it. It gets torn apart. Basically, you find an arm and other body parts, and then you get this big ass fight between Lutz and the creature. Again, he seems not to have a fucking gun. He's a cop, but he doesn't have a fucking gun. An American cop who doesn't have a fucking gun. He gets thrown to the right, to the left. He gets thrown everywhere. He's fighting with the creature, putting acid in his face, then running away, then again thrown away, boom, bam, bop. The creature loses one eye because of the acid. You see a picture here. Then again, he's, at some point he finds an axe and he starts to cut it into pieces until it's dead. And then for some reason he climbs, instead of going just out of the front door, he climbs upstairs out of the ceiling windows and is like, stretching himself out. And that's where the movie ends. And then the movie says what happens with all the characters in the movie. Mortimer Lutz went to Hollywood and became a stuntman. Detective Mortimer Lutz became a stuntman. What? Okay. Oh, this movie. No, listen, it's I don't know if you like creature features. I'm 50-50 on creature features. They really need to be good. Like Jaws is a creature feature for me. Piranha, I like Piranha. Alligator was okay. The Last Shark I liked. They're probably more like Howling, werewolf movies. I like creature feature movies, but this one, the creature looked okay as a positive. It looked creepy. It had a creepy look. And it had some gore. It had some few gore scenes, not too much. But the acting was bad. Even with these 3 Oscar winners, they're bad. Mark Landau was bad. Brooming the town for smut. Why brooming? And have a parade to clean up the smut? What has smut to do with all of this? And then thinking, this detective is just thinking, I'll probably buy a T-bone steak tomorrow, and always gazing, almost looking towards the camera, something you should never do as an actor. Yeah, probably should buy a T-bone steak. So not moving his lips, just thinking, right? I should ask Mindy or whatever for a date, maybe. Clean my revolver. Needs some cleaning. I mean, he's just constantly thinking for 15 fucking minutes straight, maybe 20 minutes. So lazy, bad acting, lazy acting, and weird story like the boy that's running away in daytime, and then it's nighttime, and it's clear daytime, like full sun, and then it's nighttime. And him become the detective becoming a stuntman for some reason because he got you know pulled to left and right, and maybe because he wrestled the monster. I don't know. No, it was bad act and boring. Okay, there is this moment at a drive-in theater that people get killed and pull out of their cars, and at the and just the movie that's playing is about this naked chick, the smuts, because she's naked. She has the biggest flapjack nipples you can have. It's like two pancakes with a protrusion out of it, the nipples, and she gets killed by a monster too in the movie. So at the same time, people are getting killed in the cars too, and this two guys, one is a stoner, and Lutz is asking him if you know anything, what happened. My friend got pulled out of the car by a guy in a monster suit. Okay, can you come to this? Can you, if your friend isn't back tomorrow, can you come to the station? Boy, he was probably high as a kite. I mean, high as a kite. I mean, he, he was just standing there. I mean, yeah, okay. Listen, this movie, bad acting, even with 3 Oscar winners, bad acting. Now, probably those 2 actors that I don't know, never heard of, probably 60s, 70s actors that from other movies that I never seen. I know Martin Landau, of course, but even he was not on par in this movie, and boring a little bit. I don't know, the weird moments going from a boy running away, then going to a cop, thinking like 15-20 minutes long without any kind of dialogue, without any movement of his lips, just gazing the night away, and then he's going to his bed, attacked by a monster. Then the day after, he goes back to his bed and just goes snugly underneath sheets and sleeps, and then he becomes a stunt man. Okay, for each his own. It's a recommendation for people who would like creature features, and so bad it's funny movie. It's a so bad it's kind of funny movie. That's what it is. Like the video if you like the review. Subscribe if you didn't. It's free, no worries, and see you next time. Bye bye.